What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is TEKNOBLAST and got SIKSLAYER, but he's on the phone right now, so he'll be right back with us in a second. Just wanted to do an afternoon show for all you gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, because it's towards the end of the towards the end of the year. It's Christmas time. It's New Year's time. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's excited for their presents that may or may not get. And so now we're here. I don't get to do too many shows, but hey, I thought I'd make one right now and get it out of the way before the year ends. Maybe I'll have a New Year's one as well. But
or maybe before you lose your power.
Yeah, before I lose my power. Yeah, that's right. Because we got that weather coming in, and it's blowing out there. It's cold. It's cold. It's dropped in the 20s already. That's how fast it's 18. I'm reading it right now. 18 on my screen.
We had a little bit of snow here. It flipped over to rain over here out here in Pennsylvania. So there
were some flurries. There were some. It's not wet. It's not raining. So that's good. We don't want it wet. We don't want it raining. Or it's gonna be snowing, but we don't want it to be, because that's just bad for everything here.
You want it dry, basically.
We want it dry because Texas here, people can't drive with the crap, even with rain, regular rain, and that's all we need is people.
Yeah, we got a whole story.
So, how you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a while, except for the chat stuff. But that's our little group thing that we got going.
No doubt. I've had some personal ups and downs. Health of family members. Particularly my mom, but she's doing okay. She's doing okay. But then now my aunt had the same thing. She's a little older. Hey man,
we're all getting there.
You gotta keep your family close. You gotta remember the ones who took care of you when you were little, and now it's time, to pay back. And that's what I'm doing right now. So but it's all right, man. Everything is cool. Everything's working out. Good
to hear. No, everything's been kind of quiet here. It's been a little dead just because the kids are out of school. We're not out of work, but work has slowed down. That I'm not doing much right now. That's no one's fault. It's the holidays. This is what happens during this time. It's
I'm
just
work
dead
right now myself.
Yeah, it's just dead.
That's why I'm wearing the coat and all.
There's nothing really you can do. I work today, I work tomorrow, and I work Tuesday, and then that's it. And so
I gotta work Sunday. Because Sundays is mandatory. So it's looking like it's gonna be busy on a Christmas day. Normally on Christmas, if it pops up on a Sunday or a Friday, which are the two mandatory days at my job, you can't skip that no matter what. Usually they try to get us in and out, but the way it's looking like it's going to be real busy, so everybody's going to have to tackle the work even harder so we can get in and get out. I got that turkey that I didn't get to use Thanksgiving. Can't wait to roast that up. You know what I mean? Spend some time with family. All of that.
So let's get into it. Let me tell you this little story that happened with the freeze that's happening right now.
Yes.
And we'll get into the gaming stuff in a second. And so my wife's working downstairs. I'm working upstairs. I come downstairs to kind of look outside, kind of check out the cold and all that. And she comes up. She's like, "Hey, it's like, you think you have to?" When somebody says you think we should wrap up the pipes, that really means to go ahead and wrap up the pipes outside, right? And so I'm like,
girlfriend or significant other says that,
your significant other, says one thing. They really want you to do it instead of just saying, "Hey, I think you should just go do it," But she said, once you wrap up the pipes to make sure they don't burst. And I'm like, what pipes? The pipes are outside. And I'm like, and I go outside to see. It's like, what pipes are you talking about? So I go outside. I come back in. And are you talking about the gas pipe, the natural gas line? And she's like, yeah. It's like, gas doesn't freeze, right? Gas doesn't freeze, right? Natural gas. And she's like, well, maybe the cold of those pipes will travel down to the, to the water pipes, and they kind of transfer the coldness to the water pipes, and maybe just insulate them. I was like, I didn't want to make a fuss. I went to the store, right? So I go to Home Depot, and I don't know how your Home Depot, if you've been to one, or if you've been to one lately,
of course.
How the setup is, where people out, you have that section where cars kind of cross that lane where people are coming in and going out, right?
Right. It's like a supermarket, same way.
Right, supermarket. So I'm in that little section, right? And I see a car coming down that lane that I'm talking about, right? But he's far enough that I'm gonna make it just fine. And he's not going fast. He's going like what you're supposed to, like slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm going past the Midway Park, this guy guns it. I mean, he revs up, the engine revs up, and he guns it to beat me. Right?
So he saw you and decided to rev the engine.
He revved it
to get there past you before he has to stop for you.
Yes, exactly.
Because I was about to ask, did he not notice?
I'm like the window clips me, like the little side mirror clips me, right? And I go like I from what I remember, I went bam with both hands, one with the open hand, one with the closed fist on the passenger window, the rear one, right?
Geez.
Where
so here's my interruption. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Yeah. And so to everybody else who is watching, I'm over here, getting hit by a car, and I punched the window with both hands, one with the open fist, one with the open hand, and one with the closed fist. And I let out some words. I'm like, what? That's like, did you this is what the part that I want to tell Sick. It's like, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. And so the guy just keeps going. He keeps driving away like nothing ever happened. I mean, he knew I punched the crap out of that window and he almost hit me. And I mean, I'm not hurt or anything. I'm not bruised up, but the window did clip me a little bit and I had to bounce off the side door or the side rear passenger window by punching my way through it. And so I'm assuming he was just getting there because he was coming from the entrance, and he was just crossing through the parking lot like you're supposed to get to wherever you're trying to get to. But this guy, for whatever reason, when he saw me crossing that parking lot, he was revving it. The engine went vroom, and the guy, clipped me with his side mirror. I punched his window with the closed fist. What's up, after boss? And so I'm ready to throw down. So I'm over here with my arms up, like, what? I'm right here. I'm not going nowhere. I came here to shop for an item. I was like, so I'm in no hurry. And he kept, they do that slow pace. Whoever did something stupid, they do that slow, like, yeah, whatever, or what, whatever that dumbass was doing. He kept driving away. And I was hoping to see him in the store, but I never saw him in the store. But what do you do? What do you do? And so we got SIKSLAYER here, but he's on the clock as well, and he don't want to. Oh, there he is.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right,
this is the part of the story that I had heard before we decided, let's just do this all on the show so I can hear a lot.
And so
it's the part where I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So I got clipped by the little mirror. Not bad, but just enough that I felt it, right? Where I still had that momentum of going forward, right? Like I wanted to cross the street. So I was gonna fall like on the side of the car, right? And so I punched the rear passenger, right? The rear passenger on the driver's side. I punched it with the closed fist and a open hand, where I felt the glass bend.
Crack.
That's how hard I didn't crack it, but I felt it bend a bit, whether it was the glass itself or just kind of going off the rails, the little trackers or whatever it's on. But I felt that the glass like fell. If I would have put more force on it, who knows? Maybe I could have broken it. I don't know.
You could have broke the glass, or at least you could have messed up the whole system.
Because
you would have deserved that.
I put some force as much as I could in the momentum that I was in to make it known that, hey, dude, it's like you revved it on purpose. You almost hit me, right? And
Home Depot's going to have that on their cameras. Home Depot's definitely going to have that on their cameras, and they're definitely going to provide that info to keep it off of them, because it wasn't them, and they would like to keep it that way.
And so I'm there. I'm like this, like. What of it? I'm waiting. I'm right here. I came to shop. I'm in no hurry to leave. Right? I just got here. So it's not like I'm in a rush to go get something and come back out. I'm right here. So of course, this driver just kind of like creeped.
I ain't hear no bell.
Right. So he kept creeping away, like driving, and I'm like, I'm right here, bro. I'm right here. If you want to throw, let's throw. You hit me. You're the one that revved up the engine and started going. Not me. And so he just took off. I was hoping to see him in the store because he was coming in the direction where he was coming in from the streets into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the guy. So I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna go get my things and get out of there.
Let you live this time, bro. Next time, Gadget. Let you live next time.
Let you live this time. Yeah. But no, I've been running into a lot of people lately. Even my son was like, dude, everybody's out to get you. Right? Somebody's like cutting me off. You got this guy almost hitting me.
Must be that big bright hat you're wearing, man. They see it as a target. You would think down in Texas they wouldn't see it that way.
I know. It's like a caution sign, right? Oh, so this is the part
when that happens,
this is the part that I should have. This is the part when I got clipped by that car and I hit it, and I wanted it. It didn't. My light bulb didn't turn on. But what I should have said when he started passing me by and hit me, I should have said, "I'm walking in."
Yeah, that's New York status right there. That's classic New York. Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I remember that. Still doing that, man.
Oh yeah. So that was my day. So I got the phone, came back at home, wrapped up the pipe. Now everybody's happy. So that was my morning.
Yeah, tough morning. My morning was kind of nuts myself, man, with all this. So the weather, I got that little edge of what's about to hit you. So what we got was a little bit of snow, and then it changed into rain, but it made it all slushy and dangerous.
Yeah.
And here on the property at work, that made it a little dangerous. That's why I was going in and out right there in the early times, just talking to some people because I'm up high on the hill. And so, when it comes time for me to come down the mountain, they don't want me driving any of the vehicles there. They'll have somebody come get me. So I have to talk to the dude, and that's what that interruption was about. But thankfully, changing terrain, it's supposed to stay that way until tomorrow night when it drops as low as 9 degrees.
9.
So rain is supposed to end just before then, or may not end before. I mean, it's already going to be freezing temperature before that, but supposedly it's supposed to end just before that and then drop to 9. So it'll still be wet out there. It'll freeze up. Yeah. That's going to be dangerous for Christmas Eve.
That's crazy.
Hopefully, but then immediately after, it's supposed to get warm. So hopefully, we're supposed to get into the 50s, and that should
that's what's going to happen here. Today's getting cold. Tomorrow's going to be colder, and then the next following days after that, it's going to go back to 40s and 50s. So
warm up, and then it's
going to be normal.
So quick question. Because I remember you guys were telling me about the summertime. You and Legal and even Realist, you're telling me about how hot it is during the summertime, and I can only imagine. But besides all this cold weather you've been having most recently, like you dealing with now, what's it normally like over there? Like what was it on let's say Monday? What was the temperature like Monday?
Oh, it was like, what's today? Today's Thursday. Monday, I don't know, like 70s. 70s, yeah.
All right.
What's up, 100?
A lot of people
always
got
showing
this
support,
right
man.
A lot of people, what up, 100? A lot of people got this for you right now, okay? With your 70-degree weather. That's why you're getting them in bomb cyclones and stuff, man.
I like the cold.
Time.
I welcome this. I love this. As long as it's not wet.
Because you're not used to it.
Your
wife wasn't, almost got killed behind it.
Yeah.
It's funny how we can joke about that now, but we could have gotten hurt. And I mean, hey, at least nothing came of it, right?
Nah, nothing came of it. Everybody lived. Everybody lived to see another day. And so,
thank God.
Yeah, that's what went down today. That's what the weather up in Pennsylvania. I got a friend up in Pennsylvania too. I think he's in Philadelphia. He's outside of Philadelphia somewhere. I forgot. No, I got two buddies.
That's
one in
more
Hershey.
Than it is out here.
I got one in Hershey, and I got one somewhere outside. I forgot where in Philadelphia, but somewhere outside of Philadelphia. And they were telling me the same thing. It's cold. And dude, if you don't know your Pennsylvania history, watch that Netflix show. That 3 Mile Island show. It's good.
Oh, I know all about 3 Mile Island. After the whole Chernobyl thing on HBO a couple years back, my ex at the time, well, my ex now, but my girlfriend at the time, she was really into that show. She was really always into Chernobyl, and then all of a sudden that HBO show had dropped. We were watching that together, and I really liked it too. So immediately after, I was all into that. She was as well. So I know all about 3 Mile Island.
Man, I never heard. Yeah, I think I've heard of 3 Mile. I just never it never clicked. Like, okay, whatever. You know, it's just another thing that I've heard.
Yeah,
But when I saw this, I'm like, dude, that was an awesome documentary of 3 Mile. It's just crazy.
and this is on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's good. It's like 4 episodes or
Okay, what's
something,
it
like
called?
60 minutes each. It's really good.
It's called what?
It's called Meltdown.
It's called what?
Meltdown.
Meltdown. All right, definitely got to check that out. Definitely got to check that out. Thanks for the heads up on that.
So
But
it's
bro, what you been playing?
good. God, man, I've been playing so much. I finished the Quarry. So I played the Quarry, finished it, and it's good. I don't know if you played it. It's good.
No,
I don't know. Did you? No, you didn't have the PS4. You did have it, right? Or you didn't? You didn't have it.
yeah, I had a PS4. I still
Did you ever
do. I
play
still have my PS4.
the Until Dawn? Did you play that?
No, but I know of it.
Okay. Well, it's the same.
It's like a action adventure game, but it's like
it's one of those
point and click,
movies,
but like
and,
one of
and then
those
it's
like,
decision making game.
Yeah.
Right.
interactive.
And it is good. It is so good. I loved it. It was good. And there's some characters in there. It's like, dude, I just want them to die because I didn't like them. Right?
Oh,
So,
okay.
but
So
you
once
want
it
to
gets
keep
like
everybody
that,
alive. You want the good ending. You want
I can
people to
test it.
live. But
Right.
there's some characters
But
that's
not
like,
these guys.
oh, you just want to punch them, you know?
Hmm.
The Quarry was good. I played Choo Choo Charles and finished it. Oh, that was so much fun. Choo Choo Charles. So that's that
Wow,
train game.
Choo Charles.
Choo Choo Charles. It's on PC. That's your area. It's Choo Choo Charles. Look it up.
I'm a PC head. This is true, but hey, listen, this sounds like something I would get my 4-year-old niece.
Oh, my sons were loving it.
Choo
They're
Charles.
like, oh my god, you hear that? Choo choo. And here comes Choo Choo Charles, man. Spider train, man, just coming at you and attacking you. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's only like $20. It's not that much. I finished Plague. I finished that one. I finished Ratchet and Clank on the PS5. That's been my last PS5 game that I played. I finished Ayuden Chronicle Rising. All right. Immortal Phoenix is what I finished. And Scorn, Midnight
I
Fight
need to get
Express. Dude, I've been like knocking out a bunch of games lately. And so right now I'm playing The Devil in Me. The Devil in Me and Signalless is what I'm playing. So
wow, you got a big plate of games, man. It sounds like you had a bit of that gamer ADD, and now finally at the end of the year, you've been wrapping them up.
yeah, I've been wrapping them up, man. So I try to juggle like 2 or 3 games at a time. That's what I do. I play like 2 or 3 games at the same time.
Man, I'm horrible with that now. So the last show we had with Direct Gaming was Legal, and everybody else who was there was myself, Game Heroes, and Legal, and then I think Afterboss hopped in. A couple other folks hopped in, right? Realist, what up? What up, 100? So immediately after that, I said, yo, as soon as this show was over, I'm gonna hop in and play, High on Life finally. Spoiler alert, I still haven't played it because of that gamer ADD I'm talking about. So as soon as I turned my system on, right, it had this update for the game. I had already pre-downloaded it. You can go on your phone, and tell the Xbox, to download the game if you have it in on sleep mode. So I did that, right? So you would think, with it's supposed to keep your games up to date with patches and stuff. But every time I turn my Xbox on, there's always this and that and these updates. I always thought that was supposed to happen in the background, but I don't always.
Don't beat yourself because mine's the same way. Like I'll turn it on. It says you got like 10 updates to do. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. So the same thing happened with High on Life. I'm like, okay, so High on Life needs this update. So I put the update to go. So let me play Vampire Survivors on Xbox because I've been playing it on Steam. If you look on my Steam account, you can check my profile, same name, because as you see it spelled right here next to my name, right there, right there. That's all platforms. That's me. So you check me out on Steam, you'll see that I already had lots of achievements on that. So right after the show, you will see around that time I was getting lots of achievements for Vampire Survivors, and then I was playing some more, Immortal Phoenix Rising. That was another game that I put some time into. I went back to. There was countless other games I played. Man, I had that gamer ADD. I played like 4 or 5 games. I would play them for like 40 minutes, play something else because what I did was I would play some Vampire Survivors. I was like, all right, I got a lot of achievements in that. Let's go see if that High on Life is done downloading. But remember, if you're playing something actively when it's doing the downloads are way slower.
It's slower.
So it wasn't ready yet. So I said, all right, let me play something else. All right, let me play something else. 4 or 5 games later, now I gotta go to bed. That keeps happening. I've yet to play High on Life. So even today, when I get home from work, I gotta cook, gotta clean. My girl is coming, and the whole weekend is to me and us. So High on Life is gonna have to pause till maybe Monday or something, man. Yeah. I don't even know when I'm gonna get to try. I don't even know when I'm gonna get to play that game, man. I've been dying to play it. Everybody's loving it. Every time I go to play it, something happens, or it's not, or we got to update. So I got to play other things. So what am I gonna do? Not play nothing and sit there and twiddle my thumbs while the download happens. And my connection is fast enough; it could, but I got that ADD. I want to play a game. That's what I put the system on for. I want to sit there and wait.
That's why you got.
So this is why this whole update thing. I had the Steam Deck, but I don't play a High on Life. I had my mindset on High on Life, and I can play lots of Steam Deck anytime I want. That's what the Steam Deck is good for. I can play that on the bathroom.
That's like your waiting game. Like when you're waiting for updates to complete, leave it alone and go play on your Steam.
Yeah. And normally you're right, but the thing was, I was motivated. I want to play High on Life. I'm like, God damn it, I'm tired of this shit. I don't want, but at the same time, I want to play something. So I was on the Xbox. But I should have thought of that. Maybe I would have did that. But even then, I would have been.
This is what I do.
So I think Microsoft needs to fix that, man. Get your patching situation worked out. Because if my sister could download a whole game because my phone tells it to, you can't tell me you can't have a timer at at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. The system.
There it goes. Download your game. What was that? Ding ding.
No, that's my phone. I put on my wireless little charger that I got here.
See,
you hear that? So
download your game.
Every time I do that, you think Microsoft would set some kind of timer, but I always thought it was supposed to keep it up to date. So there's probably like a glitch or maybe a setting that got stuck some way.
Supposedly they snuck in the whole always update stuff to the power saving mode also. So now any modes you're in, which is whatever power settings you got right now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's supposed to update no matter what, because that
new update was supposed to have finally addressed it.
Yeah, so
doesn't work for me.
I don't know. I mean, I usually just walk away. Usually I'll kick off the updates and then I'll go poop. And by the time I'm done pooping, it's time to play.
Ah, man. With me lacking a gallbladder, I'm quite regular, so I don't have that. I don't have that. Yeah, definitely. So I don't have the opportunity for downtime. So, when I actually went to look, there was a couple of games I needed to update. Halo, Call of Duty, I think Battlefield, and I played all those games like the day before that. Like a bunch of the games I have been playing, even Vampire Survivors, but at least I knew they had, an update. They had that DLC come out. So, of course that was going to happen. But, Vampire Survivors is a small game, so all right, cool. But High on Life, man, it was only 2 gigs, but I was just like I said, it's that gamer ADD. We all have it, but for me, it must be extra bad. So, like, a lot of these hot games I haven't even played yet because of situations like that. I go to play it. Outside stuff happens, stuff with the system happens. I never get around to it, so I'm playing something else, right?
Yeah.
So, but my backlog, it used to be, and this was in the 90s when I was a teen and I had some disposable money, when you first getting, a little job after school or whatever, you don't have no bills. So you're spending your money on the stuff you want, right? So now I'm buying a lot more games. It's not something that's a present or my older brother has games. I'm rocking games with him. I'm buying my own stuff, right? So then it became the list of games I need to beat this week, then this month, then this season, then this year, then this decade, then before the end of the millennium. Now it's before I die. And no, people, I'm not kidding. I would change the name in my mind. Like, this is the game I need to do. Like, and you'd start to segment, this week. Maybe you could finally play, complete this one game you've been actively playing. Hopefully to play this next game.
Hey, I haven't finished Cyberpunk. I let that marinate.
Yeah, I haven't finished Cyberpunk. I was waiting for the update. Remember, I had said I was waiting for the update. And
I started all over after the update.
The other thing for me too is it's cross saves now. Also, The Witcher has this feature now too, where it's cross saves.
Which was cross save?
Cyberpunk, but now Witcher has this as well. The Witcher 3.
Ooh, nice.
So it saves across platforms. So, talking about the Steam Deck and the pooping situation, this is what I want to do with the game, right? playing on Xbox. When I'm on the go, I'll continue the progress on my Steam Deck. When I get home, boom, the save crosses over to the thing, and then be good. But like I said, I got that gamer ADD. There's always something new and hot. I can never just stay focused on the games that are most on my mind to play. And Cyberpunk is definitely one of those games. It's Cyberpunk. Even Project Wingman, I talk about all the time. I have it on 3 platforms. I'm trying to beat it on all 3 platforms.
Dude,
the GOG got first kickstarted on Steam and the Xbox PC version.
Which did I buy? I'm trying to think of that zombie.
Base Combat.
Dying Light. I bought it over summer at like $30, and I still haven't even started it yet. Because something else always.
And that's probably giving you.
And I love Dying Light.
Right. See, that's the thing about it. It's like it's work now. See, even if you have all day to do nothing, like back when we were kids and we had all day to play games, right? Even then, you don't have the motivation to do it like that anymore.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah.
It's just different. But you still want to play. You want to sample a little something here and there, play and be knowledgeable, especially us because we talk about this stuff. But we want to play for, entertainment. That's what we do. But it'd be tough. It'd be tough.
Talking about sampling games. Are you going to sample some of these Riot games that we get perks of now from Game Pass?
Nope, I already got enough of my backlog. Bro.
The only game that I'm aware of is Valorant, League of Legends, and then that's it. But I don't even play those 2, so
I've heard a lot about Valorant. Shout out to Doc Dark and I forget his homie on their podcast. He's a big fan of Valorant.
I hear good things all the time about it. Yeah, I hear
Valorant. Definitely a great game. It doesn't take a heavy PC to run if you're rocking on PC, but now it's on Xbox. I don't know if it's on PlayStation. I believe it is. But Valorant, good game. I've heard a lot about it. I just wish I remember on Doc's homie on the Water Warrior podcast. Shout out to them.
So another nice perk that you get if you're. It's an ultimate, or is it just Game Pass?
It's definitely an ultimate. Ultimate is the one that gives you those perks. I've definitely seen the Valorant perks all the time. So
that's good. You keep adding stuff, make it good value. And here's a little story about Game Pass besides this that's coming up about these Riot games and the benefits that come with Game Pass, which is great to give you all these like little extra perks to get you started just because, hey, you're on Game Pass and yay, it's great value. Even though some people say it's not value, whatever, dude. It is. Just like you think Netflix and Disney Plus is value, has value as well. Anyway,
this is actual value. It's saving you literal money.
So, a little story on Game Pass in the last week or so. My son approached me and he's like, "Daddy," and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Do you have Doom Eternal?" No, he asked me, "Do you have Doom?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you have Doom Eternal?" I was like, "Yeah." "Do you have Doom like 19 whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I proceeds to turn on the Xbox, and it's like, "Look, I told you." Look, I got
time out. Did you ask him what got him to ask you that all of a sudden?
I'll tell you that in a minute.
Why all of a sudden? Okay.
And I'll tell you that. So I turned on the Xbox. I went to the collection of games and say, "Hey, look, here's all the Doom games that's available." He's like, "Oh my God, you have all those Doom games?" I don't have them, but I have access to them. Tell him, right? He's like, "What do you mean?" So I had to explain to him. It's like, "Do you know Netflix, right?" He's like, "Yeah." "And what do you have in Netflix?" "Oh, a bunch of shows and a bunch of movies." It's like, okay. Here's Game Pass, which is the same thing, but with video games. And it just didn't click to him because he's so innocent. He just knows that it's there and then that's it, right?
How old is he?
He's 11. So he should be a lot more aware, but he's not. Yeah.
He just not focus on that.
Yeah. And so he's like, and I go, "See all these games right here?" He's like, "Yeah, we can download any of these games and it won't cost me a thing." He's like, "What?" And then I explained to him, how Game Pass works. He's like, "Oh, man, that's cool," And so we downloaded Eternal. He started playing it. He's still hooked on it for like a few days straight. He's like, "I want to play some Doom. It's like, okay. It's like, you may not like it because first, it's a first-person shooter. He's not used to that. Second, it is very fast-paced, right? Compared to Fortnite. right? Because that's what he's used to. And so he's playing it. He's loving it. After he got through the tutorial, he loves going through all the tutorials and going through every little tab that's in a game. I don't do that crap.
No.
I go play a game and I go play the game. I don't like reading all the little information, the notes and all that. I don't do all that. He does.
Mhm.
So he's coming to me. It's like, did you know the Marauder has this and that and this, and you could do this? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. The guy with the shield. Oh yeah, I know that guy.
You want to talk about something you're infatuated with,
Right?
and they want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. And so he's hooked on it. He's enjoying it. I'm watching him play it. He's getting to it. And then I finally asked him, say, hey, so what made you want to play this game? What got you to look at this game? He's like, Fortnite did. And I'm like, what do you mean? I say, because of the skin? He's like, yeah, because the Doomslayer guy is in Fortnite. And because of that, he got interested into it. He's wondering, who is this guy? Right? Because when he showed me Doomslayer skin, Tom's like, oh, it's a Doomslayer guy. That's cool. He's in Fortnite. And I left it at that. Well, because I guess he saw me excited that there was a Doomslayer guy in Fortnite, that he looked it up himself. And then that's when he came back to me asking me like, hey, do you have Doom? Do you have this? Do you have that? I'm like, yeah, I got it. It's right here. And that's how he got into Doom.
Wow,
see what happens?
So that cross promotion actually worked.
That cross promotion actually worked. Yeah. So now he's watching all these videos of Doom.
On the cloud. I mean, obviously he's got it locally installed or whatever, but he could have played on the cloud, all of that from the get-go. But it's possible you could have created a monster with this Game Pass thing,
Yeah.
I mean, he was oblivious for a good long while.
He just knows that I have access to a lot of games, or either buy the games, right? That's all he knows. He doesn't know how
so he can get games he doesn't need to worry about, so he just doesn't.
Yeah. And so now he knows about it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so he could just ask me like, hey, do we have that game in that thing? I was like, yeah, let me look. I'm like, oh yeah, it's right here. And that's how I play.
Sweet.
So kind of cool. The cross promotion, like you said, that it's in Fortnite, which that's all he focuses on. It was like, oh, Doomslayer guy. Oh, Daddy talks about Doomslayer guy. Oh, I wonder what this guy's about. He looks it up. It's a Doom game. He comes to me and asks me. Now he's playing Doom. Engagement. Microsoft didn't have to sell a game. He just got another player to engage into the game.
Epic was making all that money all along, with them V-Bucks, because I know you had to spend V-Bucks with him. He's been cracked out on V-Bucks for a while. I'll get him a Battle Pass every now and then. Not every time, but every now and then I'll get him a Battle Pass. Right.
So
as long as he's deserving.
As long as he's not just gonna get it because he's like, oh, give me V-Bucks. I'm like, no, you have to earn it, man. It's like crazy. So thought that was a cool story to share.
Yeah, man. That works real good.
This is just too funny. It's everybody's kind of beating this story about Microsoft and Activision, like, oh, yada yada yada.
Everybody is right.
But the funny one is this, where the 10 random gamers are suing. like
the thing about it is,
and it's not random because their names is on the docket.
Right, they're real names. They have to be right.
They're real. There's not their gamer tag. Like their real names have to be on the docket. So they're gonna make themselves known and see how much of a dumbasses they are to try to. Like, do you really think your little group of 10 is really gonna do something?
Wait till they find out their PSN names to attach to these real names. I mean, if that hasn't happened already, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, like, how can I put this? Now, I'm trying to be PC about it, and I already don't like when folks are PC. So let me not.
Let it out.
Yo, these clowns, bro. You're putting your names out there, your real world name for everybody to see, right? Like, we got these dudes like Ono Alex, Fratanga plays, all these guys who love, the salt, right? And it's pony salt. So they, once in a while they try to come after Xbox guys. 2 weeks ago, because, I called them on their BS on Twitter. They tried to come after me and they tried to get out. And I noticed it was just a bunch of PlayStation dudes, right? In fact, 2 weeks later, last night, one of these dudes, he answers back a tweet from like 2 weeks ago. This shit is done. He tries to jump on it again. I didn't even answer him because, he's just looking for more engagement.
A 1 week, 2 week tweet is already like a long time ago.
15 minutes ago could be a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, get over yourself, loser. Right? Yeah. But anyway, like, to do this, I'm sorry. like you could say all this you want about this fanboy, that fanboy, and yeah, I get fanboyism and all that good, but this is a new level, and they keep taking it to new levels that we wouldn't have thought was possible before, right? So of course these dudes who just doing it for clout on YouTube, whatever. I'm sure you guys are salivating and we want to see those videos so we can point.
Oh
and
yeah,
laugh, bro.
those 10 friends or 10 whoever they are in a little room right now, clapping each other in a little circle jerk, saying, "Look, we got coverage." It's like, dude, did you really want your name out there like that? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't think they clapping each other once their real names came out. The other thing too, I noticed the press is covering for them. They never say that they're PlayStation gamers. I think this is important to say because when all these other things was happening, right?
It's right there in quote.
They put gamers. Kotaku was the first one. Thank God you're not using Kotaku, right? Because Kotaku just. But you see how pure Xbox is doing it? That's sarcasm on their part. They know what they're doing. Kotaku said it straight. Gamers. It's a reference to the original Kotaku because I think Kotaku was the first one to break the news, right?
Yeah.
As always, they're always the ones to break the news on drama. Remember, what's his face used to work for them too, who's always the dude to break drama. Forget his name at the point, which is probably good because the hell with that clown, right? But maybe he's blocked me because I ain't seen him talking no junk on Twitter. Maybe he's muted or blocked me or something. Oh, I don't know, whichever. But of course, they're always the ones to look for, for this drama to talk about. Well, here's some more drama. They're gamers.
How pathetic you have to be to went through the trouble of filing this with a lawyer, and like, what
kind of soulless lawyer did you find to try to even do this? Who thinks he's gonna get some money off of this? These 10 dudes are gonna lose money over this because they're gonna have to pay this lawyer.
They got to pay the lawyer. Yeah.
Against Microsoft, even the CMA, on which I know we're definitely gonna have to talk about that later, right? You got that on your list about the 70% blah 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 thing?
No, but we can.
Okay, well then I'll just mention it. I didn't want to bury the story.
No, it's okay.
But I just want to mention, had said 70% of people they asked, right, are cool with this deal, right? So these 10 dudes seem not to realize what they're up against by doing this. This is Microsoft. Okay,
they'll come out.
So now the CMA,
we're David versus Goliath, and blah blah. It's like, dude, get over yourself.
That's in NVIDIA, but look how their new video cards ain't really doing all this hype, and now people are starting to realize, right? And that's just for those who know what I'm talking about, right? But it just goes to show, stop trying to act like you're a little guy fighting against the big dude. It's you guys who are actually the big dudes, and it's ironic that Microsoft is the little guy in this situation. Even if they were to get Activision Blizzard, we've seen the pie charts, we've seen the percentages. They're still not going to be in no leading percentage of anything.
No,
and it's better for everybody. The what do you call that? The union, right? That represents the employees there, Activision.
Everybody, the sellers, the buyers, everybody's in favor of it, and I don't know.
And I'm not making this popular because a lot of people like to say anti-right, anti-left, right? And Elizabeth Warren is with the left. Come to find out, Elizabeth Warren, who was trying to go after this, come to find out it was from her grandkids who were telling her this thing, and all these lies about the situation. Come to find out they're PlayStation gamers.
So of course it's funny. It circles right back around to a source that is a PlayStation player. They don't like the idea this is happening. They want to use their connections or whatever. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. That's why I rarely talk about that, because it's just like, it's never ending. I will talk about it when this thing is over and they're part of Microsoft, because then
I'm so tired of I just want to see these games come to Xbox already.
We can
on Game Pass.
Clown on everybody else, that little 30% that was against it.
And here's the thing, I'm gonna put the word out here right now, because these dudes were trying to argue against the fact that the price of Game Pass is going to go up. Listen, Call of Duty is $70. Long before Microsoft announced that their games are going to be $70. Of course, it was the usual suspects, as I always said, who were going to charge $70 for their games long before Xbox made it before Sony made it a standard, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Sony's fault that they're doing this, right? Yeah. That they find the gall to do this. Microsoft held off for 2 years, right? So even if they were to increase the
did
price
they really
by
have to go up the
$5,
price? Did they really have to up the price?
I'm just saying, if they,
Yeah.
I'm stacking the deck against myself because that's
Yeah.
how good my point is. I could do that and still be right, right?
Yeah.
So even if they were to increase the price of Game Pass Ultimate by $5 a month, or just Game Pass on all tiers increases by $5 a month, right? Because here's how I see they could explain it on Game Pass Ultimate. Remember, the cloud thing is free. It's not really a part. It's still in beta. Because we're on Ultimate, we get access to it for free.
Yeah.
Right. It's really not a part of Game Pass. When it's out of beta, because this is not Google. It's not going to be eternal beta. Eventually, it'll be out of beta. Right.
Yeah.
They could choose at that point to say, okay, now the price is coming up by $5 for the xCloud. If you want the xCloud, you can have it for the old price and then $5 more. But let's say they don't even do like that. They just say, okay, all tiers go up $5, $20 a month, right? How many games are we getting on Game Pass that offset this cost? Just Call of Duty alone, that's $70 I don't have to spend every year, right?
Yeah.
That's $70 you could that you instead put it into the cost of Game Pass. Okay, that's 2.5 months of Game Pass right there. That's just off to the one game. Those of you who play baseball,
And you don't have to worry about trading
games.
it in or anything.
Yeah, you play World of Warcraft on PC. Countless games. You just don't have to spend this money every year for these games that are yearly. That alone makes up its price. That's simple math,
Game
folks.
Pass people will say, $70 is superior games than something that's $1. I'm like, oh my God, really? I believe that. It's the same
But
product.
of course they don't. They're saying, and that's the thing about it. See, their lie is so specific, it shows that they know what they're lying about, to craft their lie so specifically about the $1. Because everybody knows it's not really one. Everybody knows that. And to lie that specifically means you know it to make that lie.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
But
Game Pass is just an ultimate. Even if they to add $5 a month more, like, I'm not advocating for that. I know one day it will, and I'm gonna have to reevaluate if it's worth what I get every month for Game Pass. Because remember, I'm not paying for Xbox Live neither. That was supposed to have went up originally back when the system first started, or I believe, or just before then. And that same day decided no, and that wasn't the Xbox division who even made that choice. It was outside of Microsoft, and that, Phil Spencer did, and they all heard from gamers of all colors, everybody was unified in saying, no, this is not cool. So, I was on podcast with DRG that night. Cognito from the Iron Lords was there. I had to interrupt and say, hey, breaking news. Hey, they reversed their decision. They see they saw it wasn't smart enough to do this. That was 2 years ago now, right? Yeah. So eventually it's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. We're going to have to evaluate if it's worth it. And I already see it will be. Like, it's simple. Anybody trying to argue that is a clown. Okay? Oh no, it's Alex and all these other people and Alex was mad. Like, he better chill. He's going to have blood pressure issues. All right, bro? He might, he's working all blah, blah, blah in his quad, blah, blah, blah. Like cracking jokes with somebody else's wife. All that other shit. Like, bro, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? It's value. It's simple math.
I get sucked into that. Like, I want to be the angry guy and then like talk crap about basis. But it's like, but we have enough of those already. So that's when I was like, we'll take a segment and we'll talk crap about the other and all that. But then let's turn it back and let's talk about games, because that's what we enjoy doing.
Exactly. But my point is, like, we're talking about games and the value we get off of something, and there's other
and then somebody will come in and like, no, it's trash. Is this?
It's like, no, this is not opinion. It's the facts. It's like, you could do the math, count it up through the equations yourself or whatever, man. Get yourself an accountant or somebody. They'll tell you. It's not rocket science, man. You're saving money. You're playing more games. More games are getting attention because Vampire Saviors. I'm gonna give you a perfect example with Vampire Saviors, right? As a Steam Deck dude, we all know I got mine day one, right? I did that live stream, right? It's still up if you want to see it, right? If you ever watch early videos of Steam Deck, right? If they're just talking about the subject, or even for Tango Plays, he used that. I think he still uses that in the background of his videos often, right? He's been playing that for months. Vampire Saviors isn't new. It's months old. It was already on mobile when they were talking about it on the Game Awards. It was months old on mobile. I didn't know about it, but there it was, right? Yeah. A lot of people didn't know. But Game Pass brought attention to the game that it didn't have before. And it was already a success before that, but only on the PC, right? So now the console gamers know about it. People want to talk crap about it because it's not on their platform. But as soon as it's on their platform, like for example, Sifu, we can spin around to the Xbox dudes who were trying to talk crap about Sifu, right? Oh, it's a budget game. It's too easy. You could beat it, blah, blah, blah. No, some people can. Some people, I'm sure they can. But it's a budget game. Hopefully it comes to the Game Pass so I don't have to buy it twice. I can play it on Xbox and have it on Steam. We'll see how that works. I got my Steam Deck to go. I love that. I'm double dipping on stuff because of that, right? But Game Pass is also starting to offset that. River City Girls 1 was on Game Pass. I beat it on the Xbox, but I bought it on Steam if I ever want to play that again on the go, multiplayer with other people, I would love to see that to happen with the sequel. I'd love to see that, we have that with Vampire Survivors. It's all good. It just goes to show games are getting views and attention that they wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't for Game Pass. Because it's the same with Netflix. People are watching you explained to me about 3 Mile. Now I'm noticing I'm definitely gonna watch that with my girl tonight, right?
Dude, I'm playing Signal.
Boom, just like a watch.
I'm playing Signalist.
Yeah.
I would have never played it if it was, I was like, I wouldn't even known about it. I probably would have seen
countless games are like that.
Some kind of ad in Steam or something, but it's like it would have never really caught my attention. When I started scrolling through, like, oh, what's this Signalist game? Play the trailer. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Dude, I'm playing it. I like it. It's a chill game. It's an over the top, like bird's eye viewed game. It's a chill game. I like it. It's about space and like these zombie things, and it's fun. So. Yeah,
great games like Pentiment, right? Which is way more cerebral, and people are starting to realize that. There's lots of reading, but it's way more cerebral. It wouldn't have got the attention if it wasn't for Game Pass. Outriders, early on in this generation, right?
Oh yeah,
big game that did very well, and it wouldn't have done. It's clear it wouldn't have done that well because it really doesn't have legs once you get to the end game, right? It doesn't have that legs to continue like that. Particularly when you look at the publisher Square, they just don't know what they're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff. But Game Pass gave it the success that it has, right? And now, of course, High on Life. High on Life probably would have been successful, but because of Game Pass, it's blowing up. You look at the numbers on Steam, where it's not on Steam has nothing to do with Game Pass, but it's blowing up on Steam, where people have to buy it completely outright on Steam, and its reviews are at like 90%. And on Steam, you can't review something if you don't own the game.
Yeah.
You can't even review a game if you don't own it.
What's up, Tay? Tay Talks.
What's up, Tay? Punty? Tay Talks. Yeah, I see him right there. What's up, Punty? Yeah, so it just goes to show people are playing different types of games because the Game Pass is giving them the smorgasbord of games to play.
But come on. They're not AAA games. They're not over-the-shoulder games. Yada.
Games are games, man. As long as they're fun.
I know. Yeah.
One of my favorite games of 2020, right, was a Commodore 64 game that came out just before the end of the year. I'm not kidding.
My favorite PC game so far has been Choo Choo Charles. So if you guys have a good PC, you have to have a good PC. Just have Choo Choo Charles.
Yeah.
Choo Choo Charles.
Good games are good games. As long as the game is fun, that's all it needs to be. Look at Vampire Survivors. It's got ass graphics, but fun AF. People are having fun. Pentiment, it's got that art style of little marionettes, and it's a lot of reading, right? It's a lot of reading. A lot of people who said, "Oh, I would have played that because lots of reading."
That's
most everyone that I know who said that are playing it, despite all the reading.
That's me. That's me. I'm like, I'm not saying anti-reading, but it's like I don't want to read.
You don't want to do that. You would hope, like you would wish if there was a deluxe version with voice acting,
right? Yes.
Listen, there are a lot of people I know who I've mentioned that to them who said, yeah, I would pay $60 or $70 for that.
Yeah. Tay Talks.
I think the main thing about High Life, engagement numbers are high. Yeah, that's the key measurement. It's the highest engagement ever on Game Pass, right? And because of that, the engagement is, and this is why I gave the example of Steam, is doing well on Steam where Game Pass has nothing to do with it. It put eyes on the game that people on other on a completely different platform, playing the game now too.
Yeah,
and is doing well, very well there. It's beautiful. It's
I was watching Major Nelson's podcast yesterday. I didn't get to finish it yet, but when Jeff Rubenstein said when he jumped on High on Life, I haven't played it, so I don't know what the intro's like or what the game is like at the very beginning. But he said the first couple of minutes, he said he had to put the controller down and control his laughing because that's how funny it is. Right out the bat, right at the gate of starting the game, he said it's that funny of a game.
Bro, there was that one example that I saw in the middle of the podcast Sunday, right? In fact, it started playing again by accident. Remember, it was all loud and stuff. At least in my ear, anyway. It was a joke about these bears who are in some kind of office situation. Excuse me, and I guess the office manager or whatever, right? He told one of the workers, "Oh, you're doing such a great job." Something about, "Oh, he did a great job." "Oh, you should be promoted up to the next level or whatever." And blah blah blah. And the way they were talking about it is funny AF. And I was just a clip I'd seen on Twitter. I've seen lots of clips of this game where just funny had me dying for 10, 15 minutes over one of the jokes. And apparently with the game, the jokes are back to back to back to back to back. They just keep hitting you with the jokes. And Dan Harmon, if you ever watch Rick and Morty, bro, my casual gamer friend who owns a PlayStation messaged me and said, "You are lucky you have Game Pass, man. Have you heard of High on Life? It's hilarious." I'm seeing vids on TikTok. That's what I'm talking about. I'm seeing vids on Twitter, not so much TikTok myself. I'm sure it's on TikTok too. I don't really rock with TikTok like that. But dude, I've seen on Facebook. I've seen the jokes on Facebook. I've seen a lot of people who don't play games are crazy into this game. Another game, right? That was great for that. 12 minutes, because that's a game. You don't have to be a gamer. I played that game in parties with people, at an actual party with people who don't play games, put on the big screen, and it's just point and click, right? And people got enamored with it. All the actors who did all the voices. It was a well done game. It's approachable. Game Pass gave games like that attention. It definitely is punty. It's changing gaming as we know it.
Okay, let me read this part. Punty says, "I think Game Pass is going to change gaming as we know it, even more than people think. Nintendo and PlayStation isn't paying attention enough." Yeah. Now, to add on to that point, our generation, like the ones in, like, I'm in my 40s, and you got maybe the 50s also. I'm playing for a long time, who's seen Xbox and played Xbox from the very beginning, right? And in PlayStation and all the consoles, whatever they're playing, right? They're so used to the old model of, buy the disc at $60, $70, you own it. Oh, it feels great to feel something physical in your hands. You got the generations like my kids will not know anything about that.
Anything. Right? They don't even know. They didn't even know who the Doom guy was. They don't.
It gets to the point of my kids being able to afford their own gaming stuff, whenever that is, right? By then, I would think there's going to be a huge percentage of it. It's going to be purely digital. Like pure digital.
How many percent or so of purchases now are digital? It's already the thing now, not later, now. See, the problem with physical media as we have it now on consoles, not so much in Nintendo, but Nintendo makes it messed up even though they already have the solution, is the physical format we keep the games on is not rewritable. The day 1.0 version isn't even the 1.0 version. You have to get a patch usually day one. There's content later, right? I'll give you a perfect example, Halo 2, right? Halo 2 had map packs that came out, right? But eventually, they released those on disc, and like you could go buy in the store. It came in the Xbox magazine where you had the content, right? Because eventually, after the development of the game was done, but the disc you had when you bought the game doesn't have that content on it. So how do you get the content? Nowadays, they don't release the content. Even if you buy a Game of the Year edition, it's just a repackaged version of the original 1.0 disc that they printed way back when, without the new content on it. You still have to go and download the content anyway. So those discs are worthless. Who buys, Destiny 1 or 2 on disc? When Destiny 1 came out, right, they had that edition where you get the first 2 DLCs, and then the Taken King was the third one. You would have to buy that separate. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm buying that." I'm like, why? It's a game of the cloud. It's a game as a service. You can't play that game offline. One day when the servers are done, that disc is worthless because you can't play it offline. There's no offline in that game. They
gotta have it in their hands. That's the thing. They gotta have it.
And I don't knock that. I really don't knock that though, right? Because on Steam you could download all your games and keep them on your drive. But But see, that's what I think the solution is. The physical media that we keep the games on needs to be writable, or at least to have a space on it where you can download content onto it. And that's what Nintendo does, right? Their cartridges do have a limited amount of space we could download onto them. The thing that they have a problem with is it's not enough room. There's a couple of games where on Nintendo Switch where you buy the cartridge, right? And only half the game is on there. You have to download the other half onto an SD card.
Yeah.
And they're not even using the max version of the cards that are available to them because they cost them more money because these cards are expensive. So I think the solution is, at least for Xbox, what they could do is, you know, the SSD cards that we have, they're hot swappable, which is key point to this whole story, right?
Yeah.
Let's say next version of Gears, right? You buy Gears. It doesn't come on disc. It comes with one of these SSD cards, right? It doesn't even have to be on the card when you buy it. Let's say you download it, right? But you download it onto the card. The card also comes with the sticker that you could stick on to make it a Gears of War cartridge, if you wish.
Well, did
right?
you know they kind of tried that years ago, back in the 360 days? I don't know if you remember. They try to do that. They try to have kiosks at the stores where you can download certain games. I don't think it was like full blown like digital game. It was something. It was DLCs like or some kind of arcade games, right? You can bring your little memory stick. Remember those memory sticks that you could put in the front, pop it into the kiosk, purchase it, and then bring it back home, and then you got it. So they tried that.
Yeah, Nintendo did the same thing.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Nintendo did the same thing back in the 80s. The Famicom disc system, Metroid, Zelda in Japan, they all came on a floppy disk. And the thing was, you had an option. You could buy the game on the disc, right? So it's got the label already on the disc, right? And you buy it, but the disc is rewritable. You could erase the disc that you bought Metroid on that has the label on it and go to a kiosk and buy another game, right? And say you had the disc for Metroid and had the Metroid label on it. Well, you go and you get Zelda, right? Yeah. You wipe Metroid. Now you don't have Metroid anymore because you erased it. Yeah. But you have Metroid now, right? But you could buy blank discs and go to kiosks and get the game. I don't know if they had like the labels where you could buy the labels too to put on it. Like if you had a blank disc and you decide, okay, it's gonna be my Metroid disc. Now you go to a kiosk, you buy Metroid with gum and sticker. But this is the same thing I think they need to do now, because it bridges the gap between the physical media and the digital, and both sides could be satisfied. And we have the technology to do that now. The problem with it is it costs money. But you physical dudes, y'all always talk about how you would spend more money for that. So I suggest you do it. I suggest you stick to that and advocate for that, because I think it would fix everything, but it's going to cost more because that physical media, that SSD card SSDs are not cheap. But over time they'll get cheaper.
I'm still trying to find another one at a good price and I can't find one.
Yeah, man. But to find one that could hold Call of Duty. Let's say Call of Duty was 250 gigs masks, right? That's still gonna be expensive. That would be what? How much is the 512 cartridge right now on Xbox, the little SSD cards?
You know what? I don't think they even make them anymore. I've been wanting to buy one, and you can't find them. And what they were going for is 140 is what they were going for.
For the 512s.
See,
that's the problem with it. Or probably they would have did this already. They probably would have led with this. Because if you see the Series S, it doesn't have a disk drive, but it has that. Somebody was telling me in a podcast the other day in the chat, he was like, or was it on Twitter? I think it was on Twitter. He was like, why don't they release the Series X without the drive? Because that's only costing $20. That drive is only costing them $20. That's not going to reduce the price. He's like, but I'm not an engineer. I'm like, I'm not trying to knock you, but that's exactly why what you're saying is wrong, and you don't understand why. Like, look at the series, the Xbox One SAD edition. All it was the same motherboard. They didn't do nothing different. It was the same. They just didn't put the DVD drive in it and put a different case that covered up the slot where the slot
I actually almost wanted to
everything
buy
else
one.
about that system was
I'm glad I did it.
Cheaper, and it didn't really do nothing. Yeah, that was a foolish system, but it was a good test bed for what became the Series S, right? People need to understand what these moves were specifically for. And I think
they were testing the
this
waters.
Is a way to solve that situation. It's just the cost of the physical media. But the dudes who advocate for physical media keep saying that they would spend that more money for the games. So, okay, well then now you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the option.
You got some good chatting going on here. It's like Punty says, I see what you're saying. It's almost Nintendo and PlayStation don't want people to realize the value. It's almost like they want to de-insensitize it. Yeah.
Particularly PlayStation. Nintendo, not so much, because they're at least they're cool with the retro stuff, right? Like you can't, like they had Virtual Console, right? For 2 generations. They had it on the Wii, and if you bought a Wii, you could transfer over your Virtual Console stuff. In fact, they updated it where if you had the older version, you could pay the difference so you can get it, you can play on your controller. Because you couldn't do that with the ones that transferred over, they would pay blah, 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 right? But with the Switch generation, the 3rd generation, they killed Virtual Console completely, and now it's $20 a year. You get access to their service where there's a bunch of their older, Mario 3 and stuff like that you can play there.
Yeah.
Nintendo was doing it, but Nintendo is always going to do their stuff in a funky way that makes no sense, and everybody will make it. But there's like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, but they're still not as bad as Sony.
The 512.
Sony is out to knock it. 150 in
saying
so in America, 140. That's too much for a drive. That's 512. It could hold a couple of games though. So
it's 2 games.
And that's only the price of the physical media. That's not even the price of the game. So, okay, let's say
the cheapest I got an extra 1 terabyte drive was 140. It was the cheapest I got it, and it was only because there was a reseller on like offer up or some guy was just trying to get rid of it, and I'm like, dude, I'll buy it right now. And sure enough, man, brand new. The box was beat up. I didn't care. I just wanted the drive. The SSD.
Well, another option that they could do is, but this would mean that you couldn't play the game off the media. You would have to install it, kind of like we do with this. Support SD cards, bro. Support SD cards.
Yeah.
There you go. You buy games on SD cards. Now you can't run it off an SD card unless the game is small enough where it didn't matter. Like Vampire Survivors, right?
Yeah.
The whole game could fit in the RAM and then some, right? So do that.
Yeah.
You plug it in, installs the game. Now you play it. You don't need the media, right, to play it because it's installed or whatever. You got your license, whatever. They could work this out. Microsoft could work this out. It's gamers sit there and they complain so much that they mess up their own works. We already know about the original Xbox One. We already know about this whole DRM thing. Microsoft gets the blame, but let's not forget that Sony had part and parcel to do with the technology side. All the publishers were down with it. GameStop, which was the #1 retailer, was down with it, and the other retailers were soon to be in lockstep. So everybody was cool with it. But of course, now when when the reaction was negative, Microsoft had to take the brunt of it because they're the only ones who went forward. Meanwhile, everybody else went, right? It just goes to show gamers are in their own way.
Tay is asking if we talked about the Xbox no-show at the Game Awards, and I'll step in. I don't watch it. I haven't watched it in 3 or 4 years. I just don't like Jeff. That's the thing. I don't like Jeffrey.
Yeah, he's a toad.
I don't like his presentation. The show itself, I think the content is fine. It's him that I cannot stand. And I refuse to watch him in any of the shows, even if he's at Gamescom or any other show that he's hosting. I won't watch him. I will watch the trailers as the show goes on. I'll refresh like IGN or something and just kind of refresh and see what games are popping out, because his method of presentation, his energy is just like, I don't like it. It's just I can't stand him. But his question of Xbox not being there, 50. I'm right down the middle. Does it matter really? No, because they'll have their own shows. They're at E3, they're usually at the big ones throughout the year, which is fine. But the other side of me is saying, you know what? Give us something. That's the disappointed part of me. Is like something, at least 2
something
trailers
at the Game Awards. If they gave one thing, people would have complained anyway. So I don't think it would have mattered. Plus, I think what really would have happened. I think what happened this year. Remember, that was right before the whole the FTC trying to start to cock block the situation, because everybody loves to use that picture of Phil Spencer sitting in the seat with a dejected look on his face. Anybody who you see, it's just like when they're lying about the $1. Everybody's lying about the reason why he had that look in his, because everybody knows why. He just got the news about the FTC trying, cock block what's going on, right? So of course he's not gonna have a happy look in his face. Like,
not, no.
F out of here, bro. Everybody knows what it is. Like, come on. But should they have to? Yeah.
I want
Putty.
I want that 2 terabyte also.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay that price.
I always predicted that eventually I'm gonna have a bunch of them. I'm gonna be hot swap. I'm gonna have one that's my Halo drive, where I got all my Halo games, or my Call of Duty games, or all my retro, 2D Xbox Live Arcade games, right? And have one. I want to have multiple of them for that reason. But the prices are just too high now. I'm hoping over time they will.
Yeah.
They kept it low key because of the deal. That's right. It was a huge overreaction from the community. That's exactly what I'm saying. Clearly, it was that. And they're not trying to, hype it because they want to give them more energy.
Yeah. So I hear you, bro. Us hardcores know that Xbox is sinking money into Game Pass so they can be in first for now. They're oblivious playing the long game.
Mm-hmm. Obviously playing the long game. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
And that's the thing with Sony and Microsoft. One wants the short-term money, and the other one's seeing the long-term money.
Yeah, like Sony wants that upfront at the very beginning when everything's hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That sell window of that first month, and then after that, it just dwindles away. Like, okay, now what? You're not getting that reoccurring revenue that something like Game Pass or Netflix that just keeps flowing in. That's why you have sites like
guaranteed
OF. Look how much money those girls are making off of OF because of reoccurring revenue that people are forgetting to turn off.
Yep.
Reoccurring revenue is where the money's at. Yes, it's great to make that huge $60 sale, that huge $300 sale of a console. It's huge, right? But that's it. You're done. Now, if you got if you got that $15 just revenue coming in every month by one user, now times that 20 something million users, dude, you're making some bank.
Big bank.
And some people just
everybody makes that point always lowballs it. They don't mention Game Pass Ultimate. They use the base $9.99 to do their math with. Okay, because they really were doing the math where a lot of people are on Ultimate. Some people aren't. Some people are only on Game Pass PC, right? And it's a mix, and so those numbers would be even higher. That's how clear the point is. They'll stack the deck against themselves when making the point, like I did earlier, and it's still there. It still maps out. Yeah. Like,
and why do you think? Why do you think every little network is coming up with their own streaming service? You got Peacock, you got NBC, you got Netflix, you got Amazon.
Want that money up front.
Everybody knows recurring revenue
all over again, which I predicted too, by the way. As soon as everybody was like, "Oh, I just need Netflix and Halo," Netflix and Hulu, I'm like, "No, that's not enough." Eventually, you run out of the content, and you're not getting the new stuff that's happening all the time. But meanwhile, eventually, everybody's gonna have a service because early on you saw it too. HBO and the likes were like
even Android and Apple has their little Game Pass service as well.
Yeah, Apple playing a movie. A TV service, right?
Yeah.
But it's doing well because there are a lot of Apple folks who just balls deep anything Apple. Well, there you go, right? And they're not even making the content; they're paying other people to do it. At least Netflix is making their own stuff now, right? And they're valid. They're like HBO. They're valid now. But that's what it is. It's the same mindset, the same concepts of working in games. It's the Netflix again. That's how you explain it to your son. There you go.
Punty's a comment cracks me up because nobody watches Prawn anymore. They watch OF. It's more real. Feels like it's real anyways, but it's going to destroy those ladies' lives in the future. I feel like this is like a whole show by itself.
Yeah, that's that whole red pill thing, but there it is.
Yeah, that's a whole show. But my son is 11 right now, fixing to be 12 next month, right?
Oh.
Whenever he starts dating, whether it's in his young teens or outside of his teens, I'm gonna feel sorry for him because I'm gonna tell you right now, 80% of women will have an OF page. And you really want to take home a girl?
Even if they're putting themselves out there on Instagram and stuff, they're just not. They need that endorphin hit of views and stuff. They're showing off their bodies and this is a whole other thing, but it just goes to show the mindset. It's all related. It's all foolish. So it is what it is, bro.
It's awful, yeah. So that's a whole. We could do that 2-hour show.
That's a whole other. I don't want to talk about that. We'll get canceled all over the place with that.
Yes.
But,
no, that's great, man. I love that Punty and Tay and Afterboss on there chiming in. It always makes it fun here.
Afterboss is there too.
Yeah, Afterboss is
I'm not
there
watching
too.
the chat. I'm on the team.
So that's awesome. Now, next one is this one I saw today. Yeah, it just came out today. And this is with.
Oh, by the way, this is going to have to be the last one for me because I'm going to have to tap out after this.
Okay. We'll make it quick. So Kojima's coming out with people, I guess companies thinks they got into their feelings because I guess Kojima didn't join in with them and with Microsoft because they have the cloud infrastructure, right? This is a cloud game that Kojima wants to make. He teamed up with Microsoft. Microsoft has the infrastructure for this. They're showing you already with cloud gaming, with Azure.
That's what's Microsoft.
Why
would they go to Sony? They're getting it from Microsoft. They're from the horse's mouth.
Nobody else has it. Yeah, you got. They got in their feelings. They got mad. They think Kojima was mad, but they're not making business decisions. This is not about feelings, right? And he saw that Microsoft has the infrastructure to do this, and they do, because I'm trying to get into Azure, and I have to read up on Azure, know where all the data centers are at, and how they're all redundant, and how those systems work. Everything about it. And it's amazing how huge that whole Azure thing is huge.
It used to be called .NET. Remember that?
Yeah. So,
and you know who was the .NET guy? That
it?
was Satya Nadella. That's why he's the CEO.
So who else has that besides Amazon has their little data warehouse stuff?
AWS.
Right? Yeah. AWS. Who else has that besides them? Nobody. You know?
Microsoft, Amazon, Google is like a far away number third. Away number third because it's Amazon and Google. And Microsoft.
Now I know you're short on time. So last topic is Fallout 76. What came out back in 2018? It's a 4-year-old game. It has been played by 13.5 million players since launch, and it's still active today. It's still a popular game. I don't play it because I just don't like what they did with that game. Like, you know, the way it's played. I like the numbered games. You know, like Fallout 4, 3, 2, 1. I like those games.
Yeah,
76, it just wasn't for me, but it just shows you that engagement.
And don't forget the way it started out too. The drama behind that game. It started like crap.
Everybody hated it.
Crap. It was like the example of trying to crack this over, you know. And they fixed it. And look at it now. Look at it now. 13.5 million players.
Engagement again. It's important that these type of games that their lives need to be extended because. Yeah. Look at the old games. They're just dead. You know, you got companies shutting down servers from, like, let's say the 360 days. You know, you got those games, you know, those old kind of like Ghost Recon, right? Future Soldier just got shut down. Right. Now, is anybody playing it? Okay, no. Okay, nobody's playing it. But it just shows
more recent example what Epic is doing. Unreal, you know, all those other games. Servers dead for no reason. No reason. You can't tell me the servers necessary to run those games, right? Or cost them all that kind of money. They're really not. Give the keys to the community. Crowdfund that. Let the community pay for it their own ways. If you don't want to do it, but Epic keeps continually, you know, doing their own stupid thing, you know, shooting themselves in the head, man. Yeah. If it wasn't for the Unreal Engine, I don't think anybody would be messing with them anymore. Yeah. They keep screwing things up.
Tay is asking, is this podcast weekly, by the way? Tay, I don't have a set schedule. I've been trying to do it like every Tuesday, but sometimes I just can't do it because of work and life. It's just the way things go for me. I want to change that in 2023. I want to do at least once a week, whether it's going to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday. And because other people already have established themselves in doing it on certain days, I don't want to, it'll be bad for me if I try to go at the same time as everybody else because nobody will show up anyways. Because everybody's like they got their set of subscribing fans. But you can always, like I said, you know, I was going to say TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I got YouTube. You can subscribe to that and hit the little bell. I got Twitter at TEKNOBLAST. Same logo, same name, everything. So you can find me there. I'm always posting stuff up. Always try to put, you know, a little chime in, say, hey, I got I'm doing a show within 7 minutes or something like that. Like today wasn't even planned. Today was just out of the
Nope.
blue, and I asked Sick here, hey, you want to join in? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right.
I'm-
So here we are. All right, man. Take care, and I'll shut this down. So do your thing. So
Hasta luego, folks. Peace.
if you want to follow Slick, Sick. If you want to follow Sick, you can look at it in my description of the video. His information is in there. You can follow him as well. Yeah, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, man. I'll follow you back, and then we can go from there. If any of you guys in the chatterbox wants to come on the show one day and let's talk, hey, we can talk. We'll set up an agenda of what we want to talk about, and we'll come on here and we'll talk, man. I'm always down for that. I'm always down talking to you guys, interacting with you guys, because it's fun. It's fun. We have too many of these shows that, oh my God, we have too many of these shows that are they're always arguing. They're always mad at each other. They're always hating on each other and not actually talking about the games, right? I see too many of that, I'm sure they had good intentions when they first started, but then they got sucked into the whole hate train, right? Oh, I hate PlayStation for this. Oh, I hate PlayStation for that. Oh, I hate Xbox. Oh, I hate Nintendo. Oh, I hate PC. We have too many of those. We have too much of those things going on. And I get sucked into it. I'm no angel. I'm no saint. I get sucked into that too, where we'll talk about crap about PlayStation fans or Nintendo or PC guys or whatever. But then I try to scale it back a bit. Like, hey, let's get back in track. Let's talk about the games and whatever else we got going here. But yeah, I don't have a set schedule. Like I said, I'll try to do a Tuesday or Thursday, depending what my schedule is like. And that's it. So let's see what you got. Haha, sometimes you need some spice though. No hating, but good. No, that's good. Disagreements to kind of bounce off. Yes, that's fantastic. I welcome that. No problem with that. It's the ones that kind of cross the line and they get a little hurt. Their feelings get hurt and they don't know how to react. And what they do is they start insulting, for an example, in one of my old videos, a video that's 2 years old, I kid you not. And it's a crossplay video, right? Of Minecraft, of all things. This one guy chimed in saying, you're trash, good riddance. You should get off your channel. You're not going to have any fans. I'm like, dude, you're coming to me, to my channel, commenting on one of my old videos, my 2-year-old video, and just talking trash. And so what do you do, man? It's always somebody. Let's see what you got here. When I start mine, I'll be happy to come up. There you go, man. I'm always, willing to help me. If you got questions about where to start, what to do, where do you get this, where do you get that, what do I use as my setup? Shoot me a DM on Twitter. I'll answer you. I'm always wanting to help, man. I like to see other people join in as well and do their own thing. It's always fun to help out. It's always fun to have people come on and talk because gaming is fun, right? That's why we like to game. It's not politics. It shouldn't be that hard, right? This is fun stuff. This is what, if you have kids, you can relate with your kids. I play with my son all the time. I play with my 2 kids. I play Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite. I can't play Fortnite. I'll play other shooters, but Fortnite's just not my game, but I'll play it because it's fun, right? I play Roblox. Do you see me? Can you see me? And it's like, dude, that guy plays Roblox. No, I don't like Roblox, but I'll play it because my son likes it, right? And so you'll catch me playing all sorts of games, right? And so me, I'm an Xbox guy. I'm a green guy, bleed green. I love Xbox. I like the platform. I love everything it has with it. But I also appreciate the other platforms. I also got a PlayStation 5. Do I play it much? No, because there's not really much for me to play right now because I played all the exclusives I wanted to play already, except for Ragnarok. Nintendo, I got that one too. Mainly my kids use it, but I use it because I like some of those exclusives are in there too. So I like everything, but Xbox is my main platform. And so, but yeah, you guys follow me. I think one of you guys already did. I think Punty the Tay, you just came in. Let me follow you back right now. There you go. So now we're connected. Like I said, you guys got any questions about starting up or trying to get something going? shoot me a DM. We'll go off, we'll go in private and talk about it. If you want to come on board, man. I'll have you here. We'll set up we'll schedule a meeting, not a meeting, but a show, and we'll talk about what I'm talking about. So let's see. Have you seen the show chats? Maybe Boom. Yeah. You're talking about him. I thought, it's like I've only been on one. I think. I don't think I've been on Boom. I think I've been on RDX like a long time ago. But yeah, so I think that's it, guys. I need to go back and work. I didn't expect to go on this long, but man, thank you guys for watching. You can always reach me on Twitter, like I said, or comment in my videos, say hi, or you want to reach out to me. If you want me to email you, like I said, DM me. We'll talk. We'll connect somehow. And if you guys want to come on the show, you're welcome to come on the show. And that's it. So, all right, it was fun talking to you guys. It was great talking to Sick. And if you want to talk about Steam Deck, talk to Sick. He's the guy for you. All right, guys. You guys have a good Christmas. I'll probably do another show next week because I do have time off. So look for me on Tuesday or Thursdays to do another show. All right, guys. I'm out of here. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Stay warm. And I'm out of here. Peace.